Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you, and welcome once again to the free Shiksha TOEFL classes. I hope all of you are doing really good. I hope all of you are fine. I can see the questions coming up already on the comment section, so that's a very good response from your side. Well, before starting the class, I would like to give all of you a small reminder. So, guys, if you have not registered with us so far, please do register with us with the link which is given in the description below. It's a blue highlighted link which you have to click on, and that link would take you directly to our landing page where you can find the TOEFL calendar for the particular month of August. So in August month, guys, we have started with these classes which are free of cost. Of course, you do not have to pay anything. So this is like a boon, okay? And I will advise and suggest all of you to make use of it as much as possible because you do not have to pay anything here. You are studying and learning everything for free. You are preparing for your TOEFL exam for free. Hello, good evening. So I can see a lot of messages coming up, and already, before my asking, people have started telling me from where they are, from where are they located actually. So that's a great response. Thank you, guys. Thank you for commenting. So, yes, I would really love to know from where are you commenting and where are you located so that I know as a trainer that okay, I'm teaching so many people globally, not just in India. So I would love to see the response, and I would love to see how many countries are here watching live these free Shiksha study abroad classes. All right, all right. So I can see the first messages from Bishal. So Bishal is commenting from Nepal. Wow, that's cool. That's really nice. Then, okay, so messages along with the comments, as places and locations, along with that, people have started asking questions. So, guys, just wait patiently for your chance. Definitely, I will give you some time in the end of the session to ask your doubts and queries. So, don't worry about that. We'll have that session as well. So before we start with the session, as I have already given you the reminder to register with us, to subscribe to this YouTube channel of ours, which is Shiksha Study Abroad with the same name, so that you get notifications for the upcoming classes in the month of August, and definitely the classes which we have already had in the month of June and July. You can rewatch those videos. You can make use of those videos in your practice sessions because we have discussed IELTS also in the month of June in detail, and same we are going to do with TOEFL now in detail in the month of August. Okay, so we are going to have these classes daily on weekdays, Monday to Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. daily. I'm meeting you here for the live session. And definitely your weekends are for chilling and for practicing whatever I have taught you in the weekdays. You can practice that and then come up on Monday, the fresh weekday, and then you can ask me your doubts and queries here on the comment section, right? So guys, whoever is asking any question regarding TOEFL or any other exam, please wait patiently. As I said, I will give you some time in the end. Okay. And yes, let me call out the names and the locations from where these people are commenting. That's lovely. So hi, hello, good evening to everyone who is commenting here. So somebody saying, Muchi is saying that he's from Kolkata. Okay, Nigeria, South Africa. Great. Dubai. Yes, we had a lot of people from Dubai and Nigeria yesterday also. So that's great. We are getting, a lot of traffic and a lot of students who want to learn about TOEFL. That's great. Ghana. Okay. Great, guys. Great. Thank you so much for commenting that. And now I would like to begin with the session. Okay. And before the session begins, there is one more good news for all of you that you will get a referral code, okay, which will be provided to you and which you have to enter to avail the special discounts if you want the further courses on TOEFL. And if you want to register with us for the TOEFL course, then definitely you should apply that code so that you get extra, bonus special discounts and you can make use of it more wisely. Okay. All right, India. All right. Great. So, guys, after this, now I'm beginning with the session. And as you can see on the screen, we are also affiliated with ETS TOEFL. That is a big thing for us that we have their support. So, thank you, ETS TOEFL, for supporting us. And yes, we are in affiliation with them. So that's again a very great boon for us, right? For our free Shiksha TOEFL classes. All right, guys. So without any delay, as you can see on my screen, today we are going to cover up another two kinds of questions which come up in your reading module of TOEFL exam. Okay. And to be covered under that, you can see inference questions and rhetorical purpose questions. So these questions are basically one of the questions which come up in your exam. Okay, just let me write down here purpose. Okay, now it's complete. All right, so these are known as rhetorical purpose questions, and the above one is known as inference questions. Okay. Now, before I actually start with these two kinds of questions, we had also discussed two more questions yesterday, factual and negative factual questions, right? So if you had attempted, the yesterday's session, live session of TOEFL classes, then definitely you will remember what are factual and negative factual questions. If by chance, by any reason, you were not able to attempt or attend the live session yesterday and day before yesterday, we have just started with these free TOEFL classes from 1st August itself. So, in case you were not able to join with us, then definitely that's not an issue. Although live classes are much better because you get the opportunity to interact with me live. But yes, by chance, if you're not able to attend the session, any session live in the month of August, then definitely you can re-watch the video on our YouTube channel. So for that, you will have to subscribe with us, and you know what to do. So just subscribe, click on the subscribe button for this Shiksha Study Abroad channel, and definitely you will get access to all the videos which we have done so far. All right. So without any more blabbering, I would not like to waste my time because we have a lot to study today, a lot to learn, and we'll be interacting in between as well, right? And then, of course, I have to take your questions in the end. So we have to save some time for that as well. All right. So coming back to the slide, guys, as you know that TOEFL has changed now from 26 July 2023. There have been slight changes in the syllabus and pattern of the TOEFL exam. So here is the slide in front of you, and now I will read it out for you. What are the changes, in relation to the questions, number of questions, and what are the timings which have been revised again. So I'll start from here. From 26 July 2023, the TOEFL IBT will undergo several enhancements, one of which is reducing the test duration to just under 2 hours. Okay, so earlier the TOEFL exam, the whole of TOEFL exam was for around 3 hours, which was a very long time. Okay, that was a very lengthy duration of the exam, and they have cut it down to 2 hours now. So that's again a good news. This change will make it the shortest of the three most commonly used English language tests. Here is the revised TOEFL exam syllabus. So let's read it out quickly. Reading is now 20 questions. It has reduced to 20 questions, and timing has been revised again to 35 minutes. That is not, much, I know, because earlier it was 52 to 74, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And now it has been reduced to 35 minutes. So you have to complete all those 20 questions in reading within 25 minutes. Okay. And in listening, there are a total of 28 questions now. And the timing again has been revised to 36 minutes in total. If we talk about speaking, then speaking again has 4 tasks. There is no major change in the speaking and listening module as such. But yes, there is a reduction of questions in listening. Although in speaking, the number of questions remain the same. Earlier also we used to get 4 tasks, and now also we have 4 tasks. But the timing has reduced a little bit to 16 minutes. If we throw some light on writing, then writing again has 2 tasks. Earlier also in TOEFL we had 2 tasks, and now also it remains the same. But yes, there is different in the kind of tasks you'll get. That we'll do when we'll revise, or when we'll discuss writing module in detail. Then I'll tell you more about it. Right now, just remember that there are 2 tasks in your writing in the TOEFL exam, and 29 minutes are given to you for finishing your writing paper. Now, if we calculate the whole of these minutes, then it comes under 2 hours, approx 1 hour 56 minutes. All right. So now you know that the total timing which has reduced is to 2 hours, and earlier it was 3 hours. So that is a very good news, guys, because earlier students had to write so much and it was a very lengthy paper, and 10 minutes break was also given in between. But now there will be no break of any 10 minutes, of any minute in between, in fact. And the exam would be continued like without any break. So there will be no break in between, no interval, and you will have to complete all the four modules in one go. Okay, so Vishal is asking, I want to know the answer of yesterday's factual and negative factual questions. Okay, that will be provided to you, but I think I have given one of the answers in the end, right? So if you have seen my video very nicely and very concentratingly, then you'll find one answer to that particular question which I gave in the end. First two questions under the factual and negative factual questions, that was just a sample question just to show you that how do the actual questions look like. Those were the sample questions, and the one which you had to solve yourself after reading the passage, that was under the negative factual question, and the answer has also been given in the end. The answer was D, I still remember. Okay, so please rewatch the video once again, and of course you can find those answers on Google as well, right? Okay, so Bishal and everyone, please wait patiently for all the questions, because otherwise my flow would break in between. And of course, so many people are watching us live and nobody would want that, right? Even I don't want that personally. So please be patient and wait for your chance. Of course, I'll give you a chance in the end to ask your questions. Okay, till then, please concentrate on the PPT which I'm showing you right now. All right, so I am beginning with the inference questions now. All right, so guys, I want to just hide this slide for a minute, and I want to ask all of you, what is the meaning of inference? Now, without looking at Google or any dictionary, I really want you to write the answer, whatever comes to your mind after seeing this word inference. So what do you think inference actually means? Of course, I'll tell you the meaning, but let me see how many answers are correct and how many of you know actually the meaning of inference. So quickly write down your answers on the comment section and let me see what are the top 10 or top 5 answers which I get. Yes, I'm waiting. So somebody is asking, R2K official is saying, I will crack TOEFL exam by watching your video lectures. Of course, that would help. I would not, say directly that you would crack it, because I don't know how much are you practicing and how much are you serious for TOEFL. But yes, if you are, and if you are persistently and diligently, continuously working on your practice sessions, then definitely these videos would be like an add-on to your increasing the score or improving the scores which you'll get in TOEFL. Yes, guys. So I'm waiting for your answer. Please write down the meaning of inference. I'm sure nobody has commented right now, so I'm assuming that you people are actually googling, the meaning of this word inference. So I don't want you to Google. Just write down whatever comes to your mind and whatever you think is the meaning of inference, if you have heard this word before. So let me see how many of you actually write the meaning of this word. What is the meaning of inference, guys? I really want to see it on the comments. Let me see how many people actually, write it down. I'll call your name and then I'll call the answer. So, yes, it will be like a limelight throwing on you. Yes, guys, come on. I want to see how many of you actually know. To infer from. Very smart. Okay. Implication. All right. Any other word? So two of the people have actually given the answer, which is quite similar and quite in relation to this word. So I'm happy to see the answers which I'm getting. Good. All right. Okay. What the fact inferred from the passage? Okay. Inference means implication, reasoning. Okay, to take meaningful insights. Okay, so people I can see, they are commenting again and again with different words and, with more explanation. So I'm assuming that they have written their first answer by themselves, but then they have Googled it maybe for more, reference, and then they are putting down the answer with explanations. So whatever is the case, I'm really happy to see the response. Really good. And yes, many of you actually know the meaning. So RK2 official, Mochi, then Vishal, Amir and Spider, and then Michael, Sanika, Festus. Wow, so many of you have actually, you know, come up with different words and different meanings. So now let me tell you what is the actual meaning of inference. So inference, basically means like it's an idea, okay, or like a conclusion. Like when you conclude, you come to the conclusion, which is actually drawn from the evidence and reasoning. Okay, like evidence means whatever proof you have in the passage, according to the passage, whatever you have inferred by yourself, that is the meaning of inference. Okay, so really good, guys. I'm really happy to see your response. So coming back to the slide now I'll read the meaning and the definition for you, and I'll tell you how to actually identify inference questions, because that is really very important for all of you to know as TOEFL candidates, that okay, if I'm attempting the inference questions, then how would I actually do that? How would I recognize? How would I come to know that okay, these are inference questions, right? So let me tell you how. Inference questions ask about what is implied, right? But not explicitly stated in the reading passage. That means it's not directly given. You can identify these questions because they almost always include one of the three words. Now, what are those three words? Infer, imply, or suggest. So if these words are present in your question, in the passage or in the question, then definitely these are known as, or you will be able to recognize that these are inference questions. Okay. As soon as you see one of these three words in the question, infer, imply, or suggest, you can be pretty sure that it is an inference question, right? And if you don't see one of them, you can be pretty sure that it is not an inference question. Now, this was the kind of recognition for this kind of question. Now, let me tell you how to actually answer inference questions. Okay, that is the theme. So once you have identified a question as an inference question, you can begin to answer it. Since the answer to these questions is usually not explicitly in the reading or in the answers, do not begin by scanning the text or by looking at the answers. Instead, think for a moment for about the question, for what the question is asking. Okay, so instead think about this, that what is the question actually asking. Okay, now reading the second paragraph, an inference question will almost always have a subject which is given in the question. For example, which of the following can be inferred about Melville's poetry? Okay, so this is a kind of sample question which I have given you. Later on, you will see in the next upcoming slides, you will notice that I have given you a sample passage. I have given you some sample questions, and I have shown you the answer as well in the end. So guys, that is why I tell you to register with this link which is given in the description below, so that after watching live all these slides and understanding the question, you can actually rewatch the video. If you have subscribed with us, definitely you will be able to see all the videos on this channel which are being uploaded after getting live, so that you can rewatch them and revise it again. Okay, that what did the trainer say? Okay, and how did I derive this answer? So obviously you can come back and rewatch it. That is why I tell you to subscribe and register. Okay, so that you have a record of all these in your phone or mobile or laptops. All right, now I have given you stepwise that how actually you derive the inference answer. So let me read it from the beginning for you. Your first step should be to identify the subject of the question. Okay, now one thing more, I forgot to mention this thing here, that most of you are new to TOEFL. I'm assuming that many of you are not aware of the TOEFL exam and the question types, especially in every module, not just reading, listening, writing, and speaking also. So I'm assuming that most of you might not be knowing the meaning of scanning. So if you know the meaning of scanning, please write it down on the comment section and let me know how many of you actually know it. So yes, guys, let's start again and let me see how many of you actually know the correct meaning of scanning. It can be a one word or it can be a phrase if you want to explain the meaning. And then once all of you are done, writing on the comment section, then I will explain you the meaning. So yes, before I explain, I really want to see how many of you are actually aware of this word. If you are, then let's see how well can you explain it on the comment section. No need to write big sentences because that would take away the time. I'm just giving you 1 minute because we have to complete the PPT as well. So within this 1 minute, let me see what are the top 5 or top 10 answers which I get for the meaning of scanning. Okay, so Bishal is saying read throughout the whole passage. Okay, Bishal. So Bishal, do you think you are confusing it with the skimming word? Glance, okay. To read thoroughly, okay. Yes, to read thoroughly, I can still take as an answer. Mochi, that's right. Vishal, you can check your answer once again. So Sanika is also saying glance, okay. Glance is skimming. Then Maureen is saying look through, okay. Anson finding the answer by looking at the wording from the question, okay. Noor is saying skimming, okay. No, so Noor, skimming is different and scanning is different. So I am asking the meaning of scanning. Ahmed is saying reading it again and again, okay. Sanjay says reading quickly. Well, that is skimming again. All right, guys, a very good effort from all of you. And Michael is saying pursuing through a book, not necessarily reading for understanding. Okay, fine. So most of you were very close to your answer. Fine, you can stop writing now. Thank you so much for writing those answers. Now, what I'll do is I'll tell you the meaning of skimming first, and then I'll come back to scanning. Okay, and you'll notice that why am I saying this first? I mean, why am I explaining skimming first? So skimming is as soon as you get the paper, you read it quickly. You give it a glance. That is skimming. You give it a glance over the paper, over the questions, over the passage, and reading it very quickly, as in within a wink you are reading at least 2-3 lines. So that really needs a very good speed of reading, right? So that is skimming, when you are actually reading very quickly and glancing over the paper, like what all questions have come up, or what is the passage about, what are the titles, what are the headings, what are the instructions. So this is skimming, okay. And scanning is when you actually read again the text and you underline or you highlight the text which you actually need for the answer, or which you think is essential or important for your answer, okay. You might need it for the answer. So while reading, when you're underlining the main keywords or the main paraphrased words or the synonyms or the sentences, important ones which you feel, that is scanning. And this scanning and skimming, these two words are very much applied by IELTS, by PTE, by OET, and by the TOEFL students. And you should actually apply these strategies in your reading paper in order to get more scores and more bands. Okay, this really helps. Okay, now coming back to the slide where I was. So let's decide and discuss those steps first. How will you actually derive the answer? Okay, so the question was, which of the following can be inferred about Melville's poetry? Now, the answer can be derived like this. Your first step should be to identify the subject of the question. For example, the subject of the question above is simply Melville's poetry, right? So that is the subject. That means what are we actually talking about? Is it a noun? Is it an adverb? Is it an adjective, a thing or a person or an animal? What are we actually talking about? So the subject here is Melville's poetry. Your second step should be to summarize in your own words what the passage says about the subject. So before you actually write the answer, or before you actually go to the passage to find the answer, you should always guess the answer in your brain, in your mind itself first. Okay, so you do not need to quote the passage. In fact, you shouldn't do that. Instead, think to yourself, what does this passage say about the subject, right? Now, your third step should be to compare your summary to the answers. Now, once you have guessed in your mind, of course, you can go back to the passage to find the answer, and then you can relate or match the answer, whether it's correct or not. So I'm reading it here. From here, if you have formulated a good summary, then there will be exactly one answer that is pretty similar to your summary. And that is the correct answer, right? So remember, there are 3 steps. Identify the subject, summarize what the passage says about the subject. And third, last but not the least, compare your summary to the answers, right? So that was the strategy, or that was the tip which I usually give to my students to go stepwise to find your answer in the inference kind of questions, right? Now I have listed down here a sample question. So for that I have, you know, listed down a passage which you can read and you can relate to it, like you can rewatch it and come back later to the slide and read the passage again in length fully, and then you can come back to this question which has been given here according to that passage. So which of the following can be inferred about Melville's poetry? There are four options given to you. Okay, let's go through your steps. So again, the steps will be revised with you, whatever steps or strategies I gave you, and after that these are summarized here. So first would be identify, second is summarize, and third is compare, as we have already discussed, right? And then you can actually see that the answer is C. Okay, so C is the correct answer, right? And you can see how have we derived it. You can read it later on. So I'm in a little hurry, that is why I'm skipping this part, because now I have discussed these steps with you. So you can come back later to this passage, and still if you have any doubt or query related to this particular question or any other question in the video or slides, you can comment it down, your query, your problem, anything on the comment section. Okay, so this question I have left down for you guys to self-evaluate yourself. How much have you understood about the inference question, right? Now I'm taking you to another part of this slide and another question of the reading module, which is also known as rhetorical purpose questions. Okay. Now I want you to write down the meaning of rhetorical. So yes, guys, one more activity for you and then we are done for the day. And then we'll come back to your doubt sessions in the end for writing down your queries. So I want you to write down the meaning of rhetorical. So let me see how many of you actually know the meaning of rhetorical. We have, heard this term many times in our school, in our colleges, and while reading novels or maybe reading something in the magazine or newspaper, you must have come across this word, I'm sure. So whatever you understand out of this word, please write it down on the comment section, and let me see what are the top 5 and 10 answers again for this particular word. So the question is the meaning of rhetorical. What is the meaning of rhetorical according to you? So please write it down. Let me see how many of you actually know. So if you are an avid reader, that means you read very, concentratingly, and you are very much fond of reading. You are into reading, very much in your life, in your daily routine. Or if it is your hobby, then definitely you must have come across, you must have encountered this word in many of the novels as well. Okay, so Maureen is saying to mug up again and again. No. Okay, that's an old response. So Maureen is saying tricky, deep meaning, hidden meaning, rhetorical. Okay. Anson is saying relating to something. Well, obviously it will be related to something, but what is the actual meaning of this rhetorical word? Any idea? All right. Michael is saying rhetorical means asking a question without expecting feedback from the audience. Okay, okay. So that's a quite twisted answer. Author's view. Okay, great. So I can see a lot of you actually know the meaning of this word, although maybe you are not able to express it well, or maybe you're not able to put it in good or correct words. But I can see that there is a very good effort behind what you're saying. And I can truly, sense this, that yes, many of you actually know the meaning. Maybe not the exact one, but you're trying to explain it in your own words. That's a very good effort. Good, guys. Very good. So Vishal is saying author's view and Michael is saying expecting. Okay. Then Ram Khatri is saying concerned with effect or style rather than content. Okay. Yes, that is quite similar. So Ram Khatri is right here. Absolutely right in the meaning. Sanika is saying justification. Okay. So Sanika, there is a question mark also. Are you asking me the justification? Just kidding. Okay. So Amir is saying speaking or writing, that's to persuade. All right. Nargis says rhetorical concerned with the art of speaking or writing formally and effectively, especially as a way to persuade or influence people. Wow. Okay. To make a point, Festus says. All right, great guys. So you can stop writing now. What a good response. I'm very happy. So I can see that many of you are really learned and really, well versed with this word. So that's a very good thing. And for the people who do not actually know the meaning, not an issue at all, no problem at all. Let me tell you the meaning now. So one of the meanings is already given here, which was quite close to it. So I think Ram Khatri was the one who actually mentioned the actual meaning of this rhetorical word. So it actually means concerned with the effect or style rather than the content. So we are not talking about the content of the passage or content of the text or the paragraph which has been given in the reading module. We are actually talking about the effect of it and the style in which the paragraph or the passage is written. So that is the meaning of rhetorical purpose questions. So they actually tell you, now let's read about this question. So this type of question requires you to understand why author has included a piece of information, right? So you need to find a reason behind that writing, because the answer to this question is not directly stated in the reading passage. So you need to understand the main point of the paragraph and how the referenced information is related to the main point of the paragraph in order to solve this type of question, right? So you need to find actually the reason and the significance of this sentence or that particular word or phrase which has been written by the author. You do not need to know the exact word of that meaning of that word, okay, the exact meaning of that word or that exact word. You actually need to look very deep and behind that in order to finish these kind of questions. Now I'll show you what actually, purpose question looks like. So in order to recognize these kind of questions, you will, see the questions like these. A purpose question is often phrased like the following. So the question can be in this form: why does the author mention X? X can be anything which the author is talking about. Or the question can be in this form: the author mentions dash, that means mentions X in order to, and then the continuation of the question. Or the author includes the information of X in order to, the author uses X as an example of, the author mentions X for which the following reasons. For which of the following reasons? This can also be one of the kind of questions which can be asked for purpose questions. Okay. The author does X in order to, or what is the author's purpose in mentioning, and continuation. You will also see answers that contain phrases like the following. Okay, so you can have in the question itself, the answers itself: to show, to illustrate, to account for, to explain, to support, to refute, to oppose, to criticize, to question, to contrast, or to compare. So these are the few phrases or words which you should actually look out for, because definitely these will help you to recognize that, okay, now I'm going to attend or attempt the rhetorical purpose question. So these will help you to recognize this kind of question. Okay. Now I'm moving on to the sample question which I have prepared for you. So again, according to the Darwin's theory, and all of that has been given in this passage. You can read it later on when you have ample amount of time and you want to rewatch and self-evaluate yourself. Definitely, please, you're welcome to watch this video again. Okay, and you can come back here and read this passage. Then there is a question here given to you. Okay, there are a few pointers from which you have to select, and definitely the answer is given in the end. So I'll just highlight this answer for you so that you know this is the answer. Now that you know the answer, so you can attempt this question maybe 1 or 2 days later, because today you'll remember it, right? Okay, so now I'll take you to the tips actually. Okay, so I want you to show what are the tips and strategies which you can actually follow for this particular kind of question, which is rhetorical purpose. So let me read it out for you quickly, and then we'll move on to our doubt clearing session. So these questions require more than just English skills. Please remember this. So please do not think that if you have good English proficiency over your English language, so you'll be able to crack this exam or this particular question really very fruitfully. No, that won't happen. It needs a lot of strategies and practice to actually come to this conclusion that what is the right answer. So need more than just English skills. First of all, they require critical thinking. Okay, your job is to try to determine why the author included the information. The why, you have to actually find out the answer for why, not what. Not what is given, but why it is given, the reason behind the statement which has been passed by the author. So here are five tips answering a purpose question. The first tip is read the question carefully and understand what are you being asked. Okay, make sure you understand the whole paragraph. So understanding and analyzing the whole paragraph is very important. Until unless you will not understand what is actually being given in the passage, you will never be able to find the answer for any question, not just this one. Okay, so to understand the passage, to understand the theme and the reason, the significance behind the passage, it's really crucial. Third tip is look for the transition words. These often are a huge clue to why the author included certain information. Transition words are the words which actually transfer, the information from one sentence to the other. These words can be like although, additionally, moreover, furthermore, however, but, also, and mainly conjunctions and the connective words. You can call them as cohesive devices or linking words. Okay, this is what they are actually known as in the IELTS exam. Here they are known as transition words. So they have different, words, but the meaning remains the same. So look for transition words first of all. Then fourth tip is consider the big picture of the paragraph. Okay, do not just stick your brain just at one point. You have to think about the whole picture. What is the whole paragraph actually talking about, instead of just focusing on one or two keywords there. So usually the question is related to the big picture of what the paragraph is trying to present. And the fifth, last but not the least, is use the process of elimination, because you have few options here. You can see here. Okay, so that's my mistake. I'll just put it down for you here. A, and then we have B, then we have C, and in the end we have the option D. Okay, so these are the options which have been given to you. You have to select one correct option out of these four. So as you can see, the answer has already been given to you. So no issues. You can just read it for your own knowledge and derive it by yourself later on, that okay, this is how the answer has been derived. So out of these four options, you have to select one. Okay, and you should never come to that one correct answer very quickly. Read the whole passage. Read what is given behind, before the answer and, after the answer. In case, for example, you have found the answer here somewhere, okay, in the passage. So read the lines to at least 2 to 3 lines before the answer where you got it, and 2-3 lines after the statement, after the answer where you got it. So that will actually, clear it out that, okay, this is the final answer which I have to give in the exam. Because otherwise, sometimes the answers might change. You might think that, okay, this line is the answer, but actually the answer is somewhere here, later on, or maybe before the statement. So you need to read everything very carefully before actually coming to some conclusion. Okay, so fifth was use the process of elimination. What does that mean? That means you have to eliminate whatever option you do not need. So for example, after reading the first option A, okay, you think that, okay, this cannot be the answer at all because I couldn't find this line in the passage. So just cross it out, quickly, maybe with a light pencil, something like that. Or if you can just, mark it there, if you have the option of marking it on the laptop or the computer where you're actually giving the exam and practicing, then just strike it out. If not, you can also remember it in your brain. That's not an issue. So in case A is eliminated and then you think B can be the answer, so just leave it. Come to C, read the C option, and then you think, okay, C is also not the answer, so eliminate C, and then you will be left with only 2 options out of 4, B and D, right? Because you have already striked and eliminated A and C. So this is how you actually do the elimination process. because then it becomes easy for you to actually choose the answer from the 4 pointers. You are only left with two, B and D. So it becomes easier, right? It becomes less difficult to actually come to the conclusion of the correct answer. All right, guys. So after reading the tips, this is from my side for the today's class. I know it was a very long PPT, but I'm sure you all enjoyed and you understood what are these two kinds of questions and what do you actually do in these two kinds of questions. We have already, shared with you the tips and strategies, the steps, and the sample question and answers for you to, make sure that, okay, these are the two questions which I'm actually looking for. Right now, as promised, guys, now is the time to ask your questions and queries related to the TOEFL exam. Okay, so please put it down quickly on the comment section because we are running out of time. We have at least 5 to 7 minutes, so quickly just type it out on the comment section, guys, and then I'll answer it one by one. And yes, again, the small reminder, please do not forget to, register with us. And also, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay. All right, guys. So as promised, I am also showing you the code here which you can use. Okay. This is the code which I was talking about. So I'll also write it down for you on the comment section so that it's easy for you to just copy paste it. So the code which you can actually use for your registering with us for the TOEFL course, this code is SHIK 602023. Okay, so this is the code. So I have also commented it down on the comment section. Please click it from here, and yes, we'll see to it that you actually get to use it. And of course, it will be very beneficial because definitely you can avail some special discounts on them, on the courses, I mean. Okay. So yes, guys, I'm also looking for your questions now. I'm waiting for them. So please write down your questions. I think there was already one or two questions in the beginning. So I'm just scrolling up on the comment section. And the first question was asked, yes, it was asked even when the class was had not started. So wow, people were actually waiting for, asking questions. That's great. So the question was, when is the exam of TOEFL? Well, the TOEFL exam happens every year, every month, and within an year it actually happens over 50 times. Okay, and you can give the TOEFL exam endless number of times. Of course, there are some terms and conditions. For example, you cannot give the TOEFL exam once you have given it. You have to wait for particular like 7 to 12 days. Okay, there is a span of time period where you have to wait actually for your next chance where you can actually go and give the exam again. So that is something which you have to do. But yes, you can give the TOEFL exam endless number of times. So what is the difference between TOEFL and GRE? I think counseling team would be the best people to talk about it because they will actually tell you the eligibility area and the process, the visa process or the scholarship process, whatever goes behind the, migrating exams. Definitely they will be the best people, Anson. So Anson, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also register with the link which is given in the description below, because of that link you can actually get in touch with our expert counseling team. So counseling also happens free of cost on our channel, on our landing page. So definitely you can get in touch with some of the good counselors there who will guide you free of cost. Okay, so the difference between any exam, if you want to know, or if you want to know that what exam should I actually give, you can tell them your qualification or whatever you have done so far, and then you can tell them your requirements, and according to that they will guide you that which exam is best for you. And then further you can ask more questions about that particular exam which you actually want to give. So where is the TOEFL exam conducted, in embassy or where? So there are particular centers, divided among various cities and various countries. So TOEFL is also very much accepted globally, just like IELTS. So you can give it endless number of times, as I told you, and there are particular centers where the TOEFL exam is conducted. So once once you book the exam, just like any other migrating exam, you get the center the name of the center and the timings when your exam would be held from that center itself where you will book the exam. Okay. So you can also find more information about the TOEFL exam as a whole on our site, Shiksha Study Abroad. You can type it down on Google and you will be able to find it. So Mochi is asking, is it mandatory to buy study materials while registering for TOEFL exam? No, it's not necessary. In fact, if you are really active during these live sessions which I'm giving, then definitely these, like these videos will be very much helpful for all of you, and you won't be able to, and you would not be required to download any other material from any other site. If you are really following us live daily, then you'll be able to learn so much free of cost. So why to waste money and time on the other courses? But yes, if you are really serious for TOEFL and if you want more practice, books or the references, then definitely you should buy the course so that you actually have the study material in front of you. Because sometimes it becomes very difficult to practice online, because hard copy of the book or the is quite easier to handle, right? Instead of the online. So yes, I would suggest that you buy the courses from us so that you actually get them online and you can practice. And if you have the hard copy, then that's the best thing you can do. You can go to any other bookstore nearby you and you can buy the books for your own references and for your practice sessions. So just a second. Nargis is asking about the books and references. So, Nargis, in my first video, I have already mentioned many books and references. You can actually go to that particular first, video of ours, first August video of TOEFL, and you will be able to find the slide where I mentioned all the books and references. Okay, so you can take the help from there. Vishal is asking, I have some essay to be checked so that I could know how good is my essay, okay, and how much I can score. Is there any site to send essay or any email address? Well, unfortunately, Vishal, we are not into it so far. Of course, we'll be working on it in future, definitely, to see what can we do to check your answers and how to take your speaking sessions. We are actually working on it. So fortunately, maybe luckily someday in future, maybe after a few months or maybe an year, we'll be able to get there. But yes, so far we do not have such an option. But yes, if you have any query related to particular exam, IELTS, TOEFL or PT, GRE, then definitely you should comment it down on the comment section so that we can get back to you via our counseling team, which are already ready to help you. Okay. So, what are the best books for reading section for TOEFL exam? Again, Nargis, I think you got my answer so far. You can rewatch the first August video of the TOEFL class. It was, our first video. So you can watch that video again and you will be able to see what are the slides where I mentioned about the books and references. Okay. Then, Maureen is asking, can I use the Shiksha code in Uganda? Of course. So this code can be used anywhere, okay, globally. So once you start registering with us for the course, definitely this code can be used anywhere. That is why we are providing you. This is not just for Indian students. This is for every student which is watching me right now live and they are really serious for TOEFL exam and they want to give it. Then definitely they can, buy it. So Anson says, Burlington is providing some online material. So is it good for practice? Of course, you can go for any practice, book or reference which you think is good for you. And it is affordable, of course. You should see your pocket as well. But the thing is that the material which we are providing and the codes which we have given you, those will really help you to actually avail those special discounts so that you do not have to pay much, because in many institutes and in many other sites, they are sending the courses in very high value. That means the cost is really very high. So we are providing it in the minimum, value which we can provide. That means we are having the cost in a bare minimum level. So you can make use of that. You can use the referral codes and you can always come back to us on the comment section if you still have any query or doubt. Okay. So Vishal is saying, thank you so much, ma'am, for answering my query. Well, that's my job here. That is what I'm here for. Okay, Nargis says thank you. Okay, welcome. I think Vishal says, I think Bikash, okay, says, I think you are an Indian. Of course, I'm from India. Are you a Nepali? No, I'm not a Nepali. All right, guys. So I would also, that's a very fun factor that you're asking me many other questions as well. I would appreciate, although that if you can stick to, TOEFL and the other exams which we are talking about here. So I would really appreciate if you can, talk to me about it. All right, guys. So I think only 1 minute is left. So whatever questions are left for you, even if the live session is over and you still want to ask anything, please do not hesitate to write down your query because we actually answer our candidates' query on a regular basis. Okay. So yes, do not worry if your question has not been answered in the live session. They will be answered later on because we usually, try to reply to our candidates as soon as possible. We do not keep any candidate waiting until unless there is an emergency, of course. So yes, I am from Nepal. Really a great thing. Thank you so much for commenting that. So I can see a lot of people coming up, not just from India, from so many other places: Nepal, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Ghana. Really, lovely to see all this. Really a good response. All right, guys. So thank you so much, joining us here today also. And I'm sure it must have been a very useful and fruitful class for you. And I'm sure if you're practicing enough, if you're really serious for TOEFL, sorry, if you're really serious for TOEFL, then definitely these videos are going to help you. These are like a boon. These are like an add-on to your practice session, and it will really help you to improve and boost up your score. Okay, so now I'll take your leave and I'll see you tomorrow at the same timing. And yes, we will come up with other few questions, maybe one or two more questions of reading tomorrow. And very soon we'll be finishing up with the reading module and we'll be jumping to the listening module. Okay, so guys, I'll see you tomorrow in the evening, 5 to 6 p.m. at the same timing here live. Until then, keep practicing, be happy, and take care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Bye bye. Okay, so just before I log out, Bikash asks, is there provided GRE course? Yes. So there are referral codes for GRE as well. So you can, actually avail the special discounts on GRE plus TOEFL. So we are actually giving you a combo course there. Okay. So yes. So if you have any issues, any query regarding any module or the TOEFL exam as a whole, definitely do not hesitate to ask it. We'll get back to you. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.